Never be friends with these 4 zodiac signs. There are people with whom friendship is a gift of fate, and there are those whose presence in your life can destroy your peace, energy, and even your belief in your own strength. Astrologers warn that certain zodiac signs have a magnetism that both attracts and repels. They are charming, but behind their smile lies cold calculation. Their intuition is so sharp that they sense your weakness before you even say a word. And if you let them get too close, there will be no turning back. Today, I will reveal the truth about 4 zodiac signs that are better not to befriend, because their energy brings control rather than support. They test people for strength, play with emotions, and often, even unconsciously, cause others to suffer losses. But the most interesting thing is that they always remain at the top, while others fall into the shadows. If you feel that it becomes harder to breathe around someone, your enthusiasm fades, and your happiness disappears. This is no coincidence. Watch carefully until the end, because you will find out who exactly can destroy your harmony. But before that, subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any warnings about fateful encounters. The first sign is Gemini. There are people who quietly enter your life with a smile, a joke, a lighthearted word. They seem pleasant, flexible, open, but over time you realize that behind this charm lies a power that not everyone can withstand. That's what Gemini are like. Their minds are quick and their tongues are sharp. They can read their conversation partners like an open book, and that's why friendship with them is rarely simple. Gemini have an amazing ability to adapt to any person, as if taking on their form. They can listen, empathize, and agree, creating the illusion of deep trust. But their minds never sleep. While you are talking about yourself, they are already analyzing how to use this information. They are not interested in small gains. Gemini play on a large scale, using words as a tool of influence. Their talent for persuasion is dangerous. They can make you doubt your own feelings, change your opinion about a situation, and convince you that black is white. And they will do this not out of malice, but simply because they are curious to see if they can succeed. For Gemini, life is an experiment, and people are participants in that experiment. Their minds seek stimulation, and if a friendship becomes predictable, they start to play games. Anyone who tries to be too open with Gemini will quickly realize that every word can be turned into a weapon. They do not betray in the literal sense. They manipulate subtly, changing reality to suit themselves. Their duality is not a flaw, but a defense mechanism. They do not allow anyone to get too close because their inner essence is a constant struggle between sincerity and control. There is always a boundary in friendship with them. Gemini do not allow you to cross it, even if it seems that you are best friends. They will not reveal their true feelings because they consider them a weakness. And if you do see their vulnerability, know that it is a moment they will quickly erase from their memory. The next day, they will be smiling, cold, and logical again. It is important for them to remain above emotions. Their strength lies in words. Their danger lies in the absence of boundaries. They can support you and destroy your peace of mind at the same time. If you become uninteresting to them, they will simply turn you off. No explanations, no offense, just silence. Because Gemini don't get attached, they move on. And for those who expect stability, such a friendship becomes a test. Their minds are capable of turning a trifle into a storm, creating drama where there was none. They love conflict not because of malice, but because of the dynamics it brings. They need to feel movement, and if there is calm around them, they will create chaos themselves in order to feel alive. This is the main danger. When you are around them, you are constantly on an emotional edge. Their speech is a sophisticated trap. One word can cause you to doubt yourself, and another can force you to act the way they want you to. They sense people's weaknesses and press on them with almost scientific precision, and even if they do it unconsciously, the result is always the same: energy depletion. Friendship with them leaves you feeling unbalanced, as if someone is constantly changing the rules of the game. Gemini do not forgive weakness. They can be supportive, but only if they see interest or potential in it. Their empathy is intellectual, not emotional. They understand the pain of others, but do not feel it. And that is why they do not always realize that they are hurting others. For them, the main thing is not the story, but the experience. In friendship, they will always be one step ahead. You are still thinking about what to say, and they already know the answer. And this creates the feeling that they can read your mind. People who try to understand Gemini rarely come out of it unscathed. Because to be friends with them, you have to be strong, cold, and wise at the same time. And there are not many such people. Therefore, friendship with them is like walking on glass. Beautiful, exciting, but dangerous. They are capable of becoming allies if they feel respect. But if you try to control them or invade their inner world, they will simply remove you from their circle, without malice, without regret, because Gemini are not attached to anyone. Their freedom is more valuable than any ties. You have to be careful with them, because they are masters of psychological games. They are not enemies, but their friendship is a field where you need to have your own armor. They do not forgive naivety, do not tolerate pressure, and do not allow interference in their chaos. And if you try to change them, you will lose, because Gemini do not change. They simply leave those who cannot handle them. The second sign is Libra. Everything starts off beautifully with Libras. They are smiling, attentive, and always know how to find the right words. It's easy to talk to them. It seems as if you have the perfect friend who will never let you down. But that's exactly where the danger lies. Behind this politeness lies a surgically precise mind that sees everything, remembers everything, and never forgets how you behaved in every situation. Libras are not the kind of people you can be weak or defenseless with. They won't attack right away, but when the moment comes, their actions will be unerring. Their friendship is like an illusion of harmony. Libras cannot stand conflict, but at the same time, they cannot stand discomfort. And when something does not go according to their plan, they do not argue. They simply distance themselves, silently, calmly, as if nothing had happened. But this silence is colder than any words. They do not explain their reasons or give anyone a chance to justify themselves. Their weapon is indifference, and it is stronger than any shout. Libras have a unique sense of proportion. They always know what to say, when to say it, and to whom. They never look guilty, even if their actions were the cause of the problem. They don't need to lie. They just know how to present the truth in such a way that you seem to be the guilty one. And this skill makes them one of the most dangerous friends. Because with them, you are never sure who is in control of your relationship. Libras are emotional strategists. They can give a compliment in such a way that a person feels gratitude and dependence. They know how to cheer you up, but in a way that reminds you who is stronger. They never humiliate openly, but their hints can hit the most painful spot. In friendship, they create an atmosphere of subtle control, where you seem to be an equal, but in reality, you live by their internal rules. Their attractiveness is a trap. Libras have a natural charm that draws people to them. They easily win sympathy and then disappear, leaving emptiness behind. They like to be needed, but only as long as it brings them pleasure. As soon as you show too much emotion, they will retreat. Libras are afraid of dependence, so they always leave a way to escape. Their world is built on balance, but this balance is fragile. If you say something they perceive as an insult, even unintentionally, they will shut down. If you disturb their peace, you will become a source of tension for them and, therefore, an unwanted presence. And then they will simply leave your life, not out of malice, but because of a loss of comfort, because for them, peace is everything. Libras never engage in direct conflict. They act quietly. If you offend them, they will not take revenge. They will wait for the moment when life itself puts you in an awkward position, and only then will they let you know with a light word or hint that they saw everything. They do not seek revenge, but they do not forget anything. And when necessary, they remind you. Not with words, but with a glance, intonation, or gesture. Their coldness can hurt more than any action. In communication, Libras create a sense of security, but behind this lies strict control. They are excellent at sensing the mood of the person they are talking to, quickly adapting and agreeing even if they think differently. And when you relax, that's when they draw conclusions. They don't judge openly, but they weigh everything. Every emotion, every gesture. Their mind is a scale that constantly measures whether you are trustworthy. You cannot open up completely to them. Libras do not abuse trust directly, but they use information when it is beneficial. They can keep a secret for years, as long as they need to. But when the moment comes, your words will be used against you. And the worst thing is that you won't even understand when it happened. Because Libras never act in the heat of the moment, only coldly and precisely. They do not engage in conflict, but they know how to make a person feel guilty. They speak calmly, but after the conversation, bitterness remains. They look you in the eye, and you realize that they have already assessed you. And this assessment is not always in your favor. Libras do not destroy directly. They simply stop supporting you. And then everything falls apart on its own. Friendship with them is like walking on a tightrope. You have to keep your balance, not show weakness, not say too much. They do not forgive loss of control. If they see that you are emotionally unstable or too dependent on them, they will back off. Because for Libras, the main thing is to maintain their own inner balance, even at the expense of other people's feelings. Their greatest danger lies in their subtle form of manipulation. They don't pressure or command, but they always get their way. They can make you accept their decision as your own. And only later will you realize that you were following their script. Their mind is an ideal mechanism of influence through logic, aesthetics, and cold charm. You can learn a lot from Teresa's, but it is important to remember that they cannot tolerate chaos. If you bring instability into their lives, they will remove you with surgical precision. No arguments, no shouting. They just won't call you anymore. And not because they hate you. It's just that you have disturbed the harmony that they so carefully protect. Libras are not enemies, but it is dangerous to be friends with them. They do not hurt people on purpose, but their logic can crush emotional people. They are cold even when they smile, and distant even when they are close. And if one day you realize that you feel tired around them, it is no coincidence. It is a sign that their balance has begun to supplant yours. And then the only thing left to do is to walk away. Because in this friendship, only those who are capable of being just as cold, intelligent, and restrained can survive. Libras cannot stand those who cry, beg, or argue. They respect only strength and restraint. And if you are not ready for this, it is better to keep your distance. Because Libras always remember who disturbed their peace and will never let such people into their world again. The third sign is Sagittarius. Sagittarius is a person you initially want to have around. They radiate confidence, laugh loudly, speak directly, and seem honest to the core. But this is where the main trap lies. Their honesty is like a knife without a handle, which they stick into any weak spot without thinking about the consequences. They don't hold back because they believe that truth is above all else, even if that truth burns. Friendship with a Sagittarius is a test of endurance. At first, you think you've found an ally who will always tell it like it is. But over time, you realize that their words are not helpful, but controlling, and their support is not caring, but a hidden demonstration of power. They are unable to tolerate the weakness of others for long. They believe that the whole world should be strong, just like them. When friends go through difficulties, Sagittarius quickly loses patience. They do not sympathize, they evaluate. For them, any situation is an arena where they must win, even if winning means showing that they are better at logic, words, and behavior. They cannot stand it when people do not listen to them. They need to be the center of not only attention, but also truth. If you disagree, they will cut you off without regret. Sagittarius does not betray in the literal sense. They simply forget what they promised. They do not apologize because they do not see their guilt. In their world, others or the situation itself are always to blame. They are incapable of standing quietly by when you are in pain. They need to talk, teach, correct. And this kills friendship like a slow poison. They sincerely believe that they are helping, but in reality, they are simply destroying your inner strength because they make you doubt your own feelings. Their straightforwardness borders on cruelty. They can hurt you with their words in a way that takes a long time to recover from. But the most dangerous thing is their talent for persuasion. Sagittarius knows how to twist facts and convince others that they are right, even when they are deeply wrong. They have a natural gift for leadership, but in friendship, this gift becomes a weapon. They can make you doubt yourself without realizing it. And when you, tired of fighting, simply agree, they take it as proof of their superiority. They are not evil. It's just that Sagittarius sees the world through the prism of action, not feelings. If you are nearby, you are either an ally or an obstacle. They do not recognize the middle ground. It is important for them to move forward, even if it means destroying relationships. Their friends often fade into the background, unable to withstand the constant pressure and endless stream of criticism masquerading as sincerity. Sagittarius can lift you up, but only if you don't surpass them. Because as soon as you shine brighter, they distance themselves, disappearing like a fire looking for a new victim for its flames. You can't argue with them. Their ego knows no bounds. Even if you are right, they will find a way to show that your understanding is superficial and theirs is true. Their logic is armor that even the purest words of support cannot penetrate. And when you, exhausted, stop explaining, they consider themselves victorious. Their minds are cold, but their hearts burn with the desire to be recognized. And anything that is not fueled by this fire has no value to them. Sagittarius loves to take risks, but they also risk other people's feelings. They can drag you into their adventures, leaving you to deal with the consequences. And they won't even understand why you're angry. For them, life is a hunt, and friendship is just a temporary stop before the next goal. If you can't keep up, they will simply leave you behind. They are not capable of empathy in the classical sense. They live in the moment, forgetting that there are real people around them, not characters on their path. The worst thing is that they don't understand how hurtful their indifference is. They do not realize that their strength is destructive, that their confidence turns into pressure. And when a friendship falls apart, Sagittarius is genuinely surprised. What did I do wrong? His directness becomes his worst enemy because he never looks deep, only forward. It is important to remember one thing. It is easy to lose yourself around Sagittarius. He will not do it on purpose, but he will turn you into a mirror in which he sees only his own strength. And if you cannot resist, you will be consumed by his flame. Therefore, being friends with Sagittarius is like walking across a narrow bridge over an abyss. Interesting, bright, exciting, but with each step it becomes more dangerous. The fourth sign is Cancer. Cancer is silence that hides a storm. At first glance, he is gentle, attentive, and soulful. He listens, understands, and supports. But their concern is not always good. It entangles, constricts, and controls. They seem to love you, but at the same time, they lock you in their circle. Cancer is a sign that does not befriend, but appropriates. Their affection comes at a price: your freedom. At first, he seems like the perfect friend. He remembers your words, knows your fears, and knows how to be there for you. But over time, everything turns into a trap. He begins to measure your loyalty, to test how devoted you are. He remembers everything, even the little things you yourself have forgotten. And one day, these memories become a weapon. During arguments, they bring up everything that once hurt you and use it against you. Their gentleness is an illusion. Beneath it lies a cold memory and relentless control. Cancer in friendship is a constant oscillation between tenderness and jealousy. He can't stand it when you're closer to someone else. His inner anxiety grows, and then he becomes passive-aggressive. He can stay silent for days, punishing you with his silence. He can disappear so that you look for him and beg him to come back. All this is not out of malice, but out of a desire to feel in control of the situation. He needs security, but he seeks it not in himself, but in control over those he loves. Over time, his care becomes burdensome. He knows what is best for you, even when you protest. He advises, corrects, and instructs. He needs to feel that he is irreplaceable. And if you start to drift away, he feels it more acutely than pain. Cancer does not let go. He clings to the last. His attachment turns into a chain. And even if you break free, he will follow you from afar, like a shadow that does not fade from memory. He is easily offended, but finds it difficult to forgive. His resentment is a silent poison that accumulates over the years. Cancer doesn't scream. It is silent in a way that hurts more than any words. And when the moment comes, it takes revenge with the precision of a surgeon. Without anger, without emotion, just evenly and coldly. You can't escape it with open conflict because it doesn't attack. It waits until you weaken yourself. Their memory is not a gift, but a weapon. Cancer can remember everything, so that one day it can bring back every little thing, every doubt, every oversight. And when you think everything is forgotten, it is only beginning its internal judgment. Friendship with Cancer is a mix of tenderness and fear. They make you part of themselves, and at first it seems cozy. But over time, you feel like you are losing your space. They control who you trust, who you spend time with, even how you feel. Their care becomes power. And when you protest, they retreat into their shell, making you feel guilty. Cancer never forgives completely. Even if he smiles, even if he says everything is fine, there is still a scar inside, and he holds on to that scar until he finds a way to hurt you in return. His friendship is a slow intertwining of emotions that ultimately destroys balance. Their strength lies in loyalty, but that is precisely what becomes a trap. They do not understand that love without freedom is a prison. In friendship, Cancer often becomes a judge who decides who deserves closeness. And if you betray their expectations, you are written off without explanation. Their silence is scarier than the anger of others. Because when they fall silent, everything they remember echoes in the silence. And even if years have passed, they may reappear to remind you how you once hurt them. Don't be friends with a Cancer if you're not ready for control, for a constant game on his emotional field. He doesn't let go, doesn't forget, doesn't disappear. His presence always remains, even when he is far away. And over time, this silence becomes not a support, but a burden that is difficult to get rid of.